bestbookbits.com brings you the book summary of Eat, Move, Sleep by Tom Rath. How many diets have you tried in your life? Most of us have probably attempted to follow at least one strict eating plan at some point. And how many of us have benefited from this in the long term? Likely very few. Chances are, many will give up halfway through, while others will simply return to their unhealthy habits right after completing the chosen program. So what should we be doing instead? This book summary based on the views of Tom Rath, who has battled long-term serious illness to lead a tremendous, healthy and prosperous life, shows that anyone can become healthy in the long run. All you need to do is focus on eating right, moving right, and critically, sleeping right. In this summary of Eat, Move, Sleep by Tom Rath, you'll discover why, when it comes to eating right, quality is better than quantity, why going to the gym is pointless if you spend all day in a chair, and why sugar is probably killing you right now. Eat, Move, Sleep key idea number 1. Small lifestyle changes can have a big impact and increase your chance of living a longer life. A lot of people don't start taking care of themselves until their doctors utter some fatal words, likely along the lines of, "You're out of shape and you'd better start shaping up if you want to make it to your retirement." If you want to avoid this awkward conversation, heed this simple advice before a doctor gives it to you. Living a healthy lifestyle isn't easy. It can be hard to say no to a can of soda or a large portion of fries, but resisting these temptations will bring you greater benefits. The sooner you start treating your body right, the better your chances of living a long and healthy life. In fact, researchers from the University of Gothenburg found that 90% of the population could live to be 90 years of age or older simply by making some important lifestyle choices. You can increase your energy levels, maximizing your potential at work, and sleep better just by eating the right foods, starting with a healthy breakfast. It's true that health is partly determined by your genes, but it's important to develop healthy habits regardless of your genetic makeup. You can't change your DNA, but you can change your lifestyle. And your lifestyle itself has an impact on your genes. Tom Rath, the author, is an extreme case of this. When he was 16, he was diagnosed with a rare genetic disorder called von Hippel-Lindau, VHL, which shuts off the gene in charge of suppressing tumors, leading to the growth of cancers throughout the body. Instead of giving up, the author focused on what he could control: his diet, exercise, and sleep. He learned how to decrease the odds of the cancers spreading, and he has managed to live a long and healthy life. Even if you have a genetic tendency to be obese, for example, exercise can reduce that predisposition by up to 40%. Eat, Move, Sleep key idea number 2. Pay attention to every bite you take. Maintaining the right diet is trickier than it seems. You can always check food labels for nutritional information, but that isn't enough on its own. You have to think a lot more deeply about your food if you really want to be healthy. There's one question you should ask yourself before you take a bite of anything. Is this a net gain or a net loss in terms of nutritional value? People go on diets assuming they'll reach a specific endpoint. For example, they might hope to lose 10 pounds by avoiding carbohydrates for 2 months. Diets are thus short-term. They're not enough for you to maintain a healthy lifestyle. Long-term healthy eating means determining for yourself whether your food has a positive or negative effect on your body. And this means considering all the ingredients that it contains. A healthy salad, for instance, can become a net loss if you add fried chicken and bacon to it. Rath realized his favorite dish, salmon with barbecue sauce, was a net loss because the sauce's sugar content. So he turned it into a net gain by learning to enjoy the taste of salmon on its own, without the sauce. Also, the quality of what you eat is more important than the quantity. Don't just rely on counting calories. There's a lot more to your food than that. Overall, try to eat foods with a ratio of at least 1 gram of protein to each gram of carbohydrate. But that doesn't mean you can eat bacon and sausages all day. Processed meat should be last on your list of proteins. Meanwhile, some foods should always be avoided, like potato chips, which have over 20 grams of carbohydrates for each gram of protein. We read dozens of other great books like Eat, Move, Sleep and summarize their ideas on the website bestbookbits.com. We've done over 1,000 book summaries. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check us out on Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast. Eat, Move, Sleep key idea number 3. limiting the time when you're inactive is even more important than exercise. When it comes to staying active, going to the gym every 2 days isn't enough. You have to limit your inactivity too. Chronic inactivity is a big risk in the modern world, as a great deal of people have jobs that require them to sit at a desk all day. This only adds to the other inactivity hours that we have while sleeping, driving somewhere, or watching TV. Reducing your chronic inactivity is even more important than doing short exercise sessions. In fact, a 240,000 person study by the National Institute of Health found that adults who spend the most time seated have a 50% higher mortality rate. Even exercising for 7 hours a week wasn't enough to reduce this. If you sit for more than 6 hours a day, your risk of death increases at a rate similar to the risk of smoking or being overexposed to sunlight. Your good cholesterol drops by 20% just after 2 hours of sitting, and you'll start burning calories at a rate of only 1 per minute. So try to be active in your daily routine by adjusting your habits. It's more effective than irregular exercise, and it's easier too. It's okay to start small. The idea of getting into shape might sound tough, but taking the stairs instead of the elevator is easy. Every task is an opportunity to fit some more activity into your day. And stay active at home too. Home is the most inconvenient place to develop a more active lifestyle. Get a treadmill, elliptical machine, or start doing aerobics with online videos. In addition, try to cut down your TV time. People who watch over 4 hours of television per day are more than twice as likely to suffer a major cardiac event. Eat, move, sleep. Key idea number 4. Getting enough sleep is a critical part of staying healthy and productive. Few people get a proper amount of sleep these days. Sure, we're all busy, but sleep is one thing you should never neglect. There's a common misconception that people who sleep less are harder workers. They stay up all night because they're endlessly productive. But while staying up till 5 a.m. to prepare for next morning's presentation might sound like dedication, it's actually quite the opposite. You're less alert on a day when you haven't slept enough the night before, so your presentation won't be nearly as good as it would be if you have gotten a good sleep. In fact, studies have shown that losing just 90 minutes of sleep decreases your alertness by 1/3. Think of it this way. Who would you rather have fly your plane? A well-rested pilot or a pilot who stayed up all night studying landing techniques? There's an uncomfortable reason most of us don't get enough sleep. In our fast-paced society, sleep is viewed as a sign of weakness. The author learned this from his parents as a child, so he stayed up late as a teenager even when he wasn't doing anything productive. Over time, this took its toll on his academic performance. He felt like going to sleep was wrong or lazy. The highest performing people actually tend to have healthy sleeping habits. You may have heard of the famous study that found that it takes 10,000 hours of practice to become brilliant at something. But did you know that the same study also found that top performers get an average of 8 hours and 36 minutes of sleep each night? By comparison, the average American sleeps only 6 hours and 51 minutes on weeknights. Sleep is a vital part of reaching your goal, so don't write it off as a sign of laziness. Eat, move, sleep. Key idea number 5. Sugar is a serious health hazard and should be treated like a controlled substance. Would you give your child a cigarette? What about a sugary snack? You might have answered no to the first question and a yes to the second, but cigarettes and sugar are more similar than you think in terms of harm that they cause the human body. Sugar is a toxin, and it's very unhealthy. Together with its derivatives, it fuels diabetes, obesity, heart disease, and cancer. The average person consumes their own weight of more in sugar every year. Adding sugar in processed foods is always unhealthy. Healthy foods like fruits and vegetables already contain enough natural sugar as they are. Added sugar is only there to give your food extra flavor. It doesn't have any nutritional value and it's dangerous to our health. One Harvard University study found that sugary drinks contribute to 180,000 deaths every year. Some nutritionists even call sugar candy for cancer cells because it accelerates aging and inflammation, fueling tumor growth in turn. Sugar is also addictive, which means it should be treated like any other drug. It's important to keep it under control so that it doesn't control us. Your brain gets excited and releases dopamine when you eat sugar. in the same way that it does if you smoke a cigarette. And like cigarettes, the more sugar you eat, the more of it you crave. You also build a tolerance to it, so you have to eat more and more to experience that same pleasurable sensation. The best way to avoid this cycle of abuse is to never start it in the first place. Look out for other sugary products and ingredients too, like agave nectar, aspartame, dextrose, fructose, corn syrup, and even honey. Some of these foods may be healthier than sugar, but they still increase your craving for sweet and sugary foods. Eat, move, sleep key idea number 6. Quality is just as important as quantity when it comes to getting a good night's sleep. Have you ever felt tired, even after sleeping for 9 or 10 hours? Sleep is an instinctive act, and we all do it, but it's still something you can improve. Since it's such a fundamental part of your health, it's important to sleep efficiently. Efficient sleep is the time when you're really sleepy and not just tossing and turning in bed. Some people might lay in bed for 9 hours but only get 5 hours of real sleep. The rapid eye movement, REM, phase is the most important part of efficient sleep. This is when your brain processes your thoughts and memories, putting them into perspective for you. REM sleep also plays a key role in overcoming difficult or traumatic events. There are a few strategies to use for getting adequate REM sleep. First off, try to limit your use of the snooze button. Lots of us give ourselves an extra hour or half an hour of sleep each morning, but that extra sleep isn't useful if it's broken up every 5 minutes. So set your alarm to go off at latest possible time. Let yourself get as much sleep as you can. You should also limit your exposure to artificial light before you go to bed. Artificial light has a negative impact on your melatonin, which plays a key role in regulating your sleep cycle. So if you read before bed, use a small reading lamp and try not to watch TV or go on a computer just before you sleep. A good night's sleep impacts your health in a number of ways. In fact, research has shown that people with low sleep efficiently are 5.5 times more likely than efficient sleepers to develop a cold. In review, Eat, Move, Sleep book summary. The key messages in this book: staying healthy isn't just one decision. It's dozens of little decisions every day. You don't have to reinvent yourself to get in shape and increase your chances of living a long and healthy life. Start by eating a lot of protein, avoiding excess sugar or carbohydrates, limiting stretches of inactivity, and taking the stairs instead of the elevator whenever you can. Finally, get enough sleep and make sure it's the right kind of sleep. A lot of little changes taken together can make a big difference. Actionable advice: eat fruits and vegetables with dark and vibrant colors. There's no shortcut for knowing your healthiest foods, but going for dark, vibrant foods and vegetables is a good rule of thumb. Eat everything green like broccoli, spinach, kale, or cucumbers. Red and blue fruits like apples, strawberries, and raspberries are also highly nutritious. Now that's a wrap on this book, Eat, Move, Sleep. Thanks for watching and listening. Check out bestbookbits.com. We've done over 1,000 book summaries in video, written, and audio format. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and check us out on Spotify, Google Podcast, or Apple Podcast. Have yourself an amazing day. Take care. Bye-bye now.